Points A, B have these coordinates respectively. Find the equation of AB giving it in this form. I'm always obviously going to draw a graph to start off with, a little sketch, just so I can get my head around what's going on. Minus 5 minus 2. So minus 5 minus 2. I'm doing it roughly to scale. And 3, 1. So 3, 1 won't be quite as far across as minus 5. And 1 won't be quite as... That'll be there. 3, 1. Label them. That's B. And that's A. So I haven't done anything so far. Find the equation of the line AB. So I want the equation of that line. So I'm always going to make it be y equals mx plus c. It's the easiest way of doing it. So I need to find m first, because it comes first in mx plus c. So find m, which is the gradient. So it's the change in y over the change in x. So I'm going to dot across here. And what's it go up by? So it goes across from minus 5, that'll be 5 up to there, and then 3 more, so that length there will be 8. And this one's gone from minus 2 all the way up to 1, so that'll be 3. So change in y is 3, change in x is 8. Done that. So I get y equals 3/8 of x plus c. And now I have to find c, because I've done m, I've got to find c. And by subbing any point on that line, I don't like negatives, so I'm going to choose point B, which is 3, 1. I know where I make mistakes when I substitute these things in. I make mistakes because I forget which one's which, and I put in 3 as the first one. So I always write down x and y underneath those, just to stop me making that mistake. And then I'll get 1 equals 3/8 of, means times, x is 3. I'm going to write that at the top, it's 3 over 1. It just shows me it's going to be 9/8 plus c. So 1 equals 9/8 plus c. So c will equal minus 1/8. And so now that will give me that y equals 3/8 of x minus 1/8. It's got to have them in the form like this, so I need no fractions. So I'm going to times through by 8 to start with. So times by 8 will give me 8y equals 3x minus 1. And I will actually now, I like starting with the x's, so I'm going to take away 8y from both sides. And that will give me 0 equals 3x minus 8y minus 1. Or I could, if I wanted to put it in, to make sure I get exactly how they wanted, 3x minus 8y minus 1 equals 0. Part 2, I've got to find the coordinates of the midpoint of AB is there on my graph, because I've done it quite accurately. So it is, find out x's, I need to find the average of the x's, so it's minus 5 plus 3 over 2. And to find the y one, I've got to do minus 2 plus 1, the average of the y ones, add the y ones up, divide by 2. And that is minus 2 divided by 2, it's minus 1, and that's minus 1, it's minus a half. But actually, because I've drawn it nicely, I can actually just check that, because this is 8 along here, so the midpoint needs to go along 4, and it was on minus 5, so that's got to move along 4, so that'll be minus 1. Good, that's correct. And it's got, this is 3, so half of 3 is 1.5, so it's got to go up 1.5 from minus 2, so that'll go all the way up to minus a half. Having a picture helps me check. Part 3, I'm going to change my colour to green. Point C has coordinates minus 3, 4, so I'm going to put it on. Minus 3 is about here, and then up to 4, probably something like that. C, which is minus 3, 4. And I've got to calculate the length of AC. I've got to find that length there. Well, it's obviously Pythagoras, so I have to work out what it goes across by. So AC equals square root of, well, how far is that? That's gone from minus 5 to minus 3. That's 2. And it's gone from minus 2 all the way up to 4. That's gone up 6. You could use a formula, but it's much easier to use a graph. So that is the square root of 2 squared plus 6 squared, which is the square root of 4 plus 36, which is 40. And it says in simplified third form, so don't lose a mark. Biggest square number which goes into 40 is 4, so that is the square root of 4 times 10, which is square root of 4, 2 times square root of 10, which is square root of 10. So that's done part 3, and I think I'm going to go to black now and determine whether the line AC is perpendicular to the line BC. Okay, so part 4, I need to have the gradient of AC, and that is change in y over change in x. And because I've actually just done it now, you can see that it's 6 divided by 2, that's 3. Again, the picture helped. The gradient of BC, change in y over change in x. So from BC, we need to put that onto my graph. Ooh, sorry about that. And I've got this line here. It goes across from -3 all the way to 3, so it's gone across 6, so that's on the bottom, and change in y is gone down, so I'm going to put a negative in there to start off with, and it's gone from 4 here all the way down to 1, so it's gone down by 3, so it's -3 over 6, which is -1/2. We've got to show whether it's perpendicular. If it's perpendicular, then we'd have m1 times by m2. The gradients must be -1. So we'll try that here. 3 times -1/2 does not equal -1. It actually equals -1.5. Therefore, it doesn't equal -1. Therefore, they're not perpendicular. And that's the important thing. You actually write down that it doesn't equal -1. You're multiplying the gradients together and showing it they don't equal -1. That's what you have to do for that final part. And that's 9 done.